Hello guys, my name is Amy and welcome to a new highlight video from the latest race at Baku, so that's Azerbaijan. Now, you are currently watching the game generated highlight video from Liam. That will become apparent. Don't worry, the actual gameplay is my footage. But yeah, basically something happens. But without further ado, we'll get into qualifying. So, starting my first qualifying lap, and it's horrendously dark. Now, we run dynamic weather, so we don't really know what the weather is going to be. With how dark this is, it does look like it's raining, or it's about to rain. This is purely just overcast. It's a case of, it's quite cool. I don't really notice the difference if the track temperature changes or what, but it's a case of soft tyres. I try and basically do my tactic I did last time when I just do the one run. Obviously, we've run the same sort of scenario from last race where there's me, Liam and Keelan all in the group chat in the party, so we all sort of know roughly what we're all doing. I have had quite a bit of practice. It's a case of, well, my first ever practice lap, I came into the pits and terminal damage as I came in the pit lane on my first ever practice lap, so that sort of didn't give me confidence at all, really. But yeah, it's one of them, last bit of this lap, them fast corners, that S, how I go through them that quick I don't know, because I have no confidence at all in myself. But anyway, we go over the line and it's not a bad lap. It's one of them. We're 7th. Okay, pretty early on, still 10 minutes left. But I think at this point I'm only something like 3/10 off Keelan's time. Now I know he's on mediums, but it's one of them. Progress. With 2 minutes left of qualifying, I do go out again. And the beginning of the lap didn't start off too well. It's one of them. I sort of hit the wall. I think I spun, and I sort of abandoned the lap. I know I've got like another minute and a half, but I didn't want to waste another set of soft tyres. But as qualifying comes to an end, that one run that I did do, we start 12th. On to strategy then, and it's put me as starting on the hards. I didn't quite know how to take that. As I'm starting 12th, I do get to choose what tyres I go on. But it's one of them. I choose going on to the mediums purely because effectively you get more tyre wear with the default strategy, because you're running longer and then onto the softs that deteriorate quicker. I purely went for I'd have more grip when I come in for my pits and more grip towards the end of the race. So it's one of them. I know the softs are quicker, but being on the hards longer, sort of compromise, pretty much bang on the same time as well. So it's one of them. To me, it was sort of a no-brainer, really. So, formation lap done. Yes, I've finished it. Lights out. And I got quite a good start. Now the problem is, I do have Keelan in front of me. Little argy-bargy and kind of spun out. at the start with one of the new guys for this race. So yeah, it's one of them. The start could have gone a lot better. Now obviously the racing point behind me must have felt a little bit knocked on that, so he just banzais it down. I do have a little bit of damage to the front right of my wing. It's nothing major. So Liam does come in when there's damage even to that extent. I can still drive pretty much okay. You know, not much oversteer, not much understeer. I could pretty much race as normal. But yeah, obviously safety car because of basically the carnage of first corner. Coming up to the end of the safety car then, and we're P2. Basically everybody pitted apart from me and the guy in front. Obviously everyone's caught up again because of the safety car, but yeah, it's one of them. I've gone basically from last to the front in the space of, well, a safety car, because the safety car specifically is out for a certain amount of time. Now I do bump into the guy, hence why he goes a little bit wide, so I do intentionally stay behind him, especially on this straight. Now obviously because of the safety car I've got no DRS, but I still managed to catch up horrendously quick. But because of where the braking zone is, I don't do anything stupid and I just stay behind him. I keep my head. I've got a Mercedes behind me, so because I'm concentrating on where he is with the red proxy arrows, I forget to look in front, hence the understeer. But yeah, a Ferrari gets spun, hence the yellow flags. The Mercedes still horrendously close to my right hand side. Going through the castle section, I was horrendously worried that the Mercedes behind would do something stupid. Now we go on to the straights. He's weaving left, right. I don't know where he's going. I hit the brakes where I'm supposed to, and he doesn't. He goes just straight into the wall, and I get a red front wing. That does mean I have horrendous damage. So you'd think I'd come in. Unfortunately, I forget I have had damage until I go over the line. It's one of them, various menus popped up. Jeff wanted me to change strategy, and I completely forgot about the accident. Hence the horrendous understeer. And yeah, it's one of them I just forget. Slightly later on into the lap, and yeah, because I haven't come in to the pits, I lose basically the rest of my front wing. Jeff tells me to come in, which I completely agree with, but I carry too much speed. And terminal, I unfortunately could not turn, hence gone into the wall. That's my race done. From this point onwards then, I basically become Liam's engineer. I spectate him purely so that I am still involved in the race, still see what happens. And yeah, it's one of them. I kind of knew this would happen because of how tight the circuit is, how the barriers are, being a street circuit, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's one of them. Horrendous shame that I'm out of the race, especially being lap 5. But yeah, it's just one of them. At least I'm still involved somehow. and I get to watch it as a spectator. On to lap 11 then. Obviously I'm not in, hence why I'm watching Liam, and the Red Bull clips the wall. Horrendous drag race as we come down, and easy as you like, gets past him. Lap 14 then, and even though a bit of a drag race, Liam sort of sacks him out and sort of dummies it, but he comes into the pits, and yeah, he has a 5-second. Now, can't remember what that was for. I'm guessing speeding in the pit lane. So he serves that, goes on to the mediums, and back out. Quite simple pit stop, nothing wrong there. Obviously, came in and he was like 3rd, 4th. So now he comes out 8th. Racing Keelan as he comes out of the pits. So obviously Keelan didn't pit that lap. So he's on slightly better tyres, I think. So it's a case of Liam needs to get sort of his tyres into the zone, and I can't see them battling too much. It's a case of they're best friends. They hardly want to take each other out. Plus, we are all in the party chat. So I very much doubt anything will happen. If something does happen, somehow Keelan doesn't get a warning for cutting that corner either. Because obviously this is the spectator mode I'm watching, and it's a case of I'm sort of a bird's eye view at the moment. So obviously me talking to both of these at the same time, it's actually quite fun. On to lap 16 then, so 10 laps to go, and Iconic has dropped it in sector 2. It's a case of he's gone further down the order. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happened. Ninja's also slightly spun it there, I believe, because he went down a place. But now we've got a virtual safety car, because Iconic has now gone. Iconic, the guy that basically took off our front wing, that went on the left of us into that very corner, has DNF'd himself. So, calm as a bitch. Coming up to the end of lap 21 then, so the safety car is coming in. I'm not quite sure why the safety car was out in the first place, because everyone that is out was already out before. But as we go, green light, and Dioptric basically bumper cars between Liam and Keelan, both going off turn 1, both losing the majority of their front wings. So unfortunately that does mean they will both need to come in. Now they are 9th and 10th, so both get a point because there's only 10 people still in the race. But yeah, obviously not much front wing. I think Keelan's got no front wing at all, hence carrying on in that corner there. Liam also carrying on into the runoff area because he hasn't got half of his front wing. So it's just a case of trying to just stay on the track best as possible at the moment. End of that lap then, and yes, they do both come in. For some reason Liam tries and overtakes just before, but little push coming into the pit lane, and somehow it's classed as a serious collision on Keelan's end, so he gets a 5-second, which he doesn't serve during this particular pit stop. He does get that removed because it's ridiculous, but obviously Liam has a slow stop because of a front wing change, but manages to come out in front of Keelan. Battle of the pit stops, McLaren were on point. Obviously Keelan had to have a new front wing as well because of the little tiff with the three of them. So obviously Liam, Keelan and Dioptric into the first corner after the restart. But they come out with a yellow flag in Sector 2. Ninjas has DNF'd at the front of the pack. So now there's only 9 people in the race. You're guaranteed good points if you finish this race. It's one of them. I feel gutted really. I was doing really well, and because I didn't change my front wing, I carried too much speed and lost it. But yeah, again, someone else then going out. Bettman, again, midfield, also DNFing. We're down to 8 people in this race. Now, technically, there's only 7, because Lawrence Swag, that is in 6th, was invited by someone, but isn't in the league, so their points don't actually count. So it's a case of everyone will get bumped up because of them being disqualified, not counted or whatever. So technically at this point there's only 7 people, so we've only got literally half of the field left with 2-3 laps to go. On to Liam's last lap then, and yeah, he kind of got a little bit tagged by Dioptric again, hence spinning. Unfortunately my controller cut off, so I didn't actually get to see the incident, but it's one of them. Liam had a quiet few laps, caught up to Dioptric, and then ended sideways. Obviously Keelan still behind, nothing has happened. Obviously it's only 2 laps since last time, but it's a thing of literally being Baku, anything can happen, including taking yourself out. I knew I wasn't looking forward to this race. I didn't think I'd go out that way, but I kind of didn't think I'd finish it either, so I was sort of half right. But anyway, as Liam and Keelan come up to the end of their races, 7th and 8th are pretty good. It's one of, well, technically 6th and 7th, because Lawrence Swag gets obviously DSQ'd, so quite a few points. It's one of them. Very happy with that race. So yeah, it does say 7th. So Oscar, the Ferrari, he gets driver of the day. The driver vote as well, he also gets that. So he gets an extra point for driver of the day. Liam also gets fastest lap. So Ferrari on pole again. It's not surprising. This guy was in another league with Liam and Keelan last year, and he was immense, also commonly known as Fridge. But yeah, it's one of them. There's no competing against this guy. He's just too good. Final classifications then. So Liam finishes 7th, technically 6th, and got fastest lap, so an extra point for us there. And then yeah, Fridge getting pole with Elite and Quack 2nd and 3rd. Us all the way down at the bottom because of when we DNF'd, unfortunately. We don't get any points this race. I didn't think I would. I really didn't think I'd finish it, so never mind. It's been fun watching and being a spectator. Let's hope it doesn't become a regular thing. So guys, that was Baku at Azerbaijan. Not the result we wanted personally. Overall for McLaren, obviously Liam gets some good points for us. It's one of them. I wasn't looking forward to that race. Basically, we're not going to be doing this track when the new game comes out. Now you can see why. It was just an absolute shambles. And yeah, it's one of them, purely my fault. How I forgot I got damage, I really do not know. But in hindsight, yeah, I should have come in. Nevertheless, it's a learning curve. and spectating was kind of fun, but unfortunately not anticipated. But anyway, guys, hope you liked this video, even though I wasn't in it very much. Now hopefully you can join me on Friday for the next race. So it is 8:15 Friday over on Twitch, link in the description. And this race is going to be Canada, so the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Don't really know the track, not raced it very many times, if at all, unfortunately. Obviously I've seen people drive it, I've seen real life drive it, so let's hope I can get some practice in, because I will be needing it. But as always, guys, if you liked this video, please leave a like rating. If you're new around here, if you could subscribe as well, that would be even better. Next to the subscribe button is a little notification bell. If you click that, that'll let you know when I upload. So obviously these videos for highlights go up on a Friday, with the race live on Fridays as well, if you fancy watching me then. And then other videos are now on Mondays, with me going live doing Star Wars Fallen Order Monday afternoons. So hopefully see you at one of them, guys. Bye.